And now we're seeing the tables turn. Oh, how the tables turneth. That the cool colors are now losing their front line again. This is absolutely insane. It's like a zombie invasion, man. The beamer turret's going off in the back. The Cortex and Commander absolutely being ravaged in the back there too. He does go down. The Mesa is also, supporting their Sheldon friends. Fantastic. Nice push there. Alrighty. How's it going, everybody? We got an epic, super sick 4v4 on Theta Crystals version 1.0 today, or tomorrow, or the next week, or yesterday. Anyways, 4v4 on a map that is played, but not as often as, Supreme Straight or the like. So it's good to see, some other stuff, besides like, what is it, like glittering fields or whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, for the Warm Colors team, someone, Mike, requested that they be called the Hot Colors team, but I feel like that gives them too much credence. What if they're not actually hot? So we'll be sticking with warm. We got Duna here leading them from France. A little gross, but for the most part, seems like a great player here, 33 TS, and yeah, it seems to be pretty set in the rankings there. Meanwhile, we have some interesting names over here. We got a Hole Cleaner, which absolute diabolical name, sitting at 29 TS from the great land, America. Anyways, I hope to see this map used to its full extent. Of course, there are nice energy deposits lining the little mountain walls here. And by the way, these mountain walls are very, very cinematic. Look at this. Look at these crystals. Look how beautiful bars become. I think that maybe the sky is a little off-putting, the bright white. But when you zoom out, the nice gradient there is pretty sick. Anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. Anyways, let's get onto the map here. What is this map? How do you play it? It's definitely not as set in stone as, again, Supreme Straight, the boogeyman that map is. Something like that. The rules are very, very set, but it seems like air is the way to go if you're backed into the corner here. So we have Mr. Shadow in the pink, or Mrs. Shadow, or they, them Shadow. I should start saying they instead of he. I assume everybody, I view gamers as a man, which is terrible. I don't assume, but it is implicit in my language, which, yeah, either way. And of course, we have a Hole Cleaner here in the dark blue, also going with our aircraft plant. Now, you'll notice the difference. Hole Cleaner is Cortex, while Shadow is the good guys, Armada. I just posted a poll recently in the community tab. Go vote now. Who's better, Cortex, Armada? Vote on aesthetics, likes, dislikes, opinions, straight up fact. Put your ideas in the comments. I don't know. Do what you want. Have fun with it. Or don't. Be the most serious man alive about a video game, which is cool. That's fine. Anyways. Oh no. Little bit of damage here from this tick. He's a brave man. He has one single kill on... is this a radar scanner? Yeah, the radar tower went down, which actually, would be super helpful because there are 5 little rascals out here. And rascals they are. Oh, I sound like Shaggy Day. Raggy? Or Scooby-Doo it would be. Anyways, yeah, but they are spotted, of course, so this mace is going to be going ham, man. It is already taken 2 out, severely damaged a 3rd one. This guy is on his last leg. He is feeling terrible. Not that they have that much health anyways, so they're going to be going down pretty quick either way. Maximus with saying it's a bad idea to reveal your air at 3 minutes in the game, but it's okay. The thing is, with this map, going air is pretty common, and like you kind of know. Like, you know the layout of where people are going to drop, so you know that someone's going to be backed in this corner here, and you're like, well, what's the most natural thing for them to do? It's either to eco, which is to do nothing at all until the late game, in which you come in at full force, which is useful, but if you're planning to do something in the early game, it makes sense to have someone go air, right? The rest of these players are technically frontline players, although I expect, Maximus and... Scuvs in respectively probably won't be getting as much action due to the way that Duna and Tristfrock have come out of their starting zone. So they've both come out towards the northwest quadrant over here, and that is where Maximus and Scuvzin's lanes also are. So I imagine they're going to be more of a supporting role there. And then, of course, Barbarito and Grunting Squid are all on their own down here, so they're going to be seeing a lot of action between themselves. But I'm assuming Maximus and Zen, given the opportunity, saying that all have equal skill, they are going to be building up their economies more compared to their counterparts in the south there. So they might be playing more of an eco role, but definitely still frontline as well, right? Of course, that's all conjecture. I've not seen this replay before. Nice construction vehicle from Mr. Frock over here. He's just trying to get a mechs down. There's a little raiding party from the Scuffs in here. They're looking to do some damage. And will they do damage? Yes. They get a pick on that building mechs. And even the construction bot might go down. Or vehicle, sorry. Look at the detail on these models, man. The wheels all jank. Oh, no. He got taken out. Right as the big old brute came in, as well as that fighter just patrolling the skies over there. But I'll be interested to see if Mr. Hole or Mr. Cleaner, what's better? Mr. Clean. We'll go with Mr. Clean. What is he gonna be going for, bombers or what there? Seems to be just pumping out fighters. Shadow has not done anything at all with his air base quite yet. What are you gonna do? But there are some nice mech spots. Good lord, mech spots on these mountains here. So hopefully, you're going to see people using those. So we already see Mr. Clean using some. And hopefully, we see Shadow using some as well. But the RTS differences are rather extreme, I would say. But yeah. And additionally, this is a viewer-sending replay. If you like sending your own, feel free. I'm in a little bit of a backlog right now. But if your game is especially good, don't be afraid to send it in. I look at all games, even if I don't cast them. But normally I cast most of the ones I get. I try to. It's courteous. If you're gonna use your time to send me a game, I'd like to respond with you know, the full force of my effort. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Either way, we have Duna taking this hill up here, which, yeah, pretty good position. However, he is in danger of being flanked by Mr. Maximus over here. He does have 14 pawns that he could easily move around with. So it's going to be important for Scuffs in to really get up there. Try to stop a flank like this from happening, because you definitely don't want Duna losing this position. He's already having a bad time. So some brutes over here definitely causing some damage. He can't respond super well to that, but it looks like Scuffs in is actually having a little bit of a problem here. He is definitely feeling quite scuffed right now. Is he able to make it out of this? Only 2 pawns left circling him. Down to 8%, but he does get the kill on that one, and he's won. It's true, it's true. Can the brutes follow up? Oh, where are they going? Can Mr. Frock see the map? He cannot. He has, oh, he sees it, he sees it. Is he gonna go in? Is he gonna go in? Are we gonna say bye-bye to the commander in yellow? And there's one brute left, and he's being trailed by a pawn, and so I guess that's probably a no. But it was a valiant effort nonetheless. Almost gets picked on that mech there. Does some little flyby damage, I guess. But yeah, this guy really is on 1%, man. 8% HP is feeling good. Down in the south here, we haven't really covered it. We are starting to see some pink planes come out. Some blink scouts. Obviously going to be torn up by fighters, but they are, again, just for scouting. They're not that much of an investment, so still no real air force from Shadow there, but he's starting to get an idea of what he's up against and realize he's in a bit of a deficit plane-wise, so he's really going to want to heavily eco, which means he probably should have started with a bot lab or something like that, but I guess it's too late now. You could always reclaim, but Squid with a little bit of reclaim on this energy down here, fantastic. That's what I love to see. In terms of the front line, he doesn't really have anything on the front. Bobrito definitely has more, but still the front line's a little bit stable just because Bobrito is playing a little bit more neutrally. But if Bobby could clutch up, this is a much shorter front line than this is, although he does lose the advantage of that terrain, but his mechs are much safer up here too, so hopefully he does decide to be aggressive in a little bit. It would be nice to see that, as we do still have the warm color team pressed up a bit over here. Duna has not been overrun, despite it looking like that may in fact happen. He's still sitting pretty. Hopefully you see this mechs being gotten to. I didn't discuss wind speed, which is a tradition, I'm sorry. A low of 0, high of 16, so great wind speed. But of course some solar collectors going to be coming out, especially from the newer players. No tidal speed, so this lake is useless, energy-wise. And then, yeah, the mechs is 3 to 2.4 to 1.8, so it really depends, but decently... I don't even know. It's an okay metal map, and actually might be a little bit on the low side. Is kind of what I'm leaning towards. Map-wise, and it's a little bit on the low side. But either way. I say either way too often. I need another phrase. Skiddly-doo. I don't know. That one doesn't feel as right somehow. Either way, Bobrito actually getting pressed up here with these nice little Rocketeers, man. The Aggravators, my bad. The Cortex version, of course, they are going to outrange anything he has besides the missile trucks. And the missile trucks, A, are fewer numerically, and B, have less DPS, although they are a much safer option because they have a longer range and auto lock. And they can also take out some aircraft here. We also see some medals coming up for Barbarito, which is always good to see some starting anti-air. He knows there's some error there already just because of the scout. So nice to see him reacting to something like that. You know, so we don't see some early bombings, a little silly like that, or early bombings that are super effective, right? What was the ping over here for? Looks like Duna and Scuff Zen are really just taking control of this hen. Maximus and Mr. Frock are being pushed back quite a lot. We are seeing a pretty big brute squad develop, but the problem is Wolverines and rocket aggravators, rocket bots, are, you know, outrange anything over here. Maximus just has pawns, so these guys are not going to be useless per se, but they're going to have a lot of trouble combating something like this. The long range will just decimate a small force like this very early on. And is this GG? Interesting right there. He is not super confident of his position. Not that he should be. It is looking rather grim. In terms of eco, they're actually ahead, technically. Although they might start losing some stuff on the front line here, especially as Maximus' army loses entirely everything, which is about as fun as you'd expect for him, I imagine. Barbarito still not pushing forward. Grunting Squid has also halted his assault. We're starting to see some heavier laser stars come up, some beamers, which is nice. Let me some beamers. And Mr. Frock going in with those brutes there. Tagging that Wolverine just slightly. They're having good fun right here. So we do have a... Oh gosh, man. My cinema. Oh, it's like I don't have a film degree or something. I don't. Anyways, thugs, aggravators, pushing back those brutes. Again, just super cost effective. They only have 12 kills for 9 guys, right? So not great, but like they just constantly do damage to these guys. They have to go back, repair. They're weakened. Oh gosh, we're even pressuring the commander, the green commander. They're just gonna have to be walked back as he does fall. What, 75%? Oh, 60% under actually, which is pretty good. We have a huge. Gosh, grunting squid assault. What is a grunting squid? I don't think I even want to know per se. But yeah, thugs, aggravators, classic scummy Cortex. Ugh. They have good units, guys. Yeah, Barbarito only has his commander and this poor construction vehicle, which is making it run for its life. And the commander might actually sack himself to defend. Yeah, he's trying to go in for the D-gun, but Grunting is microing very well and able to pull back, so that D-gun is never really going to be possible. Bob cloaks for a little bit there, but is running out of energy stat soon. So he does have to uncloak, but it looks like he might just be able to make it out, just like Mr. Zen did. So Maximus is wondering if he should go tier 2. Yeah, so I was actually right in my prediction. Yeah, okay, so he said no. But he does have the extra metal. I think that's more actually from maybe a little bit of a misstep, not making as many units as he should. You know, pawns are obviously a very light metal unit, 48 metal. So you do tend to accumulate a lot of metal by just keeping on with, not trash. Pawns aren't trash. Nothing in Armada is trash. However, they do have a lot of weaknesses, and I'd like to see some higher tier units at this point. Pawn blobs haven't been the meta for like 4 months, guys. What are you doing? But yeah, Maximus is an OG. He's been on the channel quite a bit. Yeah, the pawns are not in, man. Come on, get with the times. We're going missile trucks now, which actually it doesn't seem to be a huge play this game, although artillery definitely is playing its part, as it should. Artillery has been long neglected, and I don't know what Maximus sees over here. He's very, is that, oh my god, like we're gonna beat him, or oh my god, like what's happening to us? But actually Duna seems to be in a little bit of a pickle here. There's just a lot of brutes, man. Frock is an industrial powerhouse. And only 11 metal too, good lord. Yeah, nice. Bomb this. The combo, not good. Oh, the gauntlet. Interesting take there. I like that win or lose, the Cool Colors team seems to be communicating very well, especially Maximus with the constant pings and the questions, which I think is something that should be emulated among everybody, unless it's taken away from your APM, right? Like you're microing like your pawn stack, and then you're like, hey, should I go in here or here? You know, like that's obviously too much. Too much of a good thing is bad, as they say, and I am they. But, you know, I like this level of communication. Everybody seems to be having a chill time. I'd say a comb bomb here is a bad idea in my opinion. The Gauntlet, while powerful, is still medium plasma artillery. It doesn't have, I mean, it has range on Maximus's army. Like he'd have to push back here to get out of the range. We're like, it's not going to be a game ender, and it looks like he might already be winning this frontline battle. He could easily push up that, as long as, you know, all these beamers don't get built. Like that is obviously going to be causing a problem there, but, you know, nothing insane. What do we have over here? Some okay, some Banshees, some light gunships, but yeah, okay, so obviously Barbarito knows the meta, or he just likes missile trucks, but he's got quite the force there. But Grinding Squid also has a lot of long range units, longer range, not as long as the missile trucks, but the good thing with these guys, again, is they are anti-air, so even if that fighter force wasn't there, still able to do some damage. I'd like to see those shurikens getting on the front line over here. I feel like Mr. Clean could get in a little bit more action with those nice shurikens. Although I do understand the hesitancy with the beamers here. Also Nettles, yeah, maybe he's right. I'm wrong. Again, I cry tears of understanding. I love learning. Learning is good. But yeah, actually slowly, Barbarito is being pushed back. Thing is, he's being pushed back here, which is a better defensive point. Now he is losing these 3 mexes here, but they're not being capitalized upon by our boy in the orange. So it's not a big deal. It really isn't. Cool Colors team also being pushed back here. The Warm Colors team has now definitively made its way all the way over the hill, all the way over this line. Duna is holding back a little bit more, but yeah, our Scuff Zen boy, our Taoist boy, is Zen more? Zen is Buddhism. I'm sorry, I just committed a crime. Not Taoism. What an idiot. Anyways, I only jest in part because it is actually a very important distinction. They're quite different philosophies. But yeah, if he's already pushed all the way out here, Maximus all the way pushed back, this Gauntlet is not a big deal at all, right? It can't reach all that crap over there, so it's no big deal. It's gonna make pushing into a little bit harder, but it's a pretty big investment. 1250 metal for something that's gotten what, 4 kills, and those kills are on pawns, right? So I don't know. It is good to see Maximus going for some maces here. I don't think maces get enough love, both from the devs in terms of balancing. But also from players. But I understand you don't want to play in a unit that's not super meta. But we also have Maces over here from Zen, and he's doing very well with the Reclaim. I haven't mentioned that yet, so I feel like I can only harp on it when people do it poorly. But yeah, the Reclaim's been solid, man. He has a squad of res bots, which is exactly what you should do. He's not going overboard or anything, but even resing just a few units here and there can easily turn the tide. So I am elated to see stuff like that. I'm also elated to see a nice little push here, a little 1-2 punch. So Triste Frock realized that he's already holding the line with what he had. He can't push in with all those brutes to actually make a dent though. So what he's going to do is pull him all the way down here, push around Grunting Squid's force, which was kind of in a box there, allowing Barbarito to go in as these guys are distracted. And now he can solidly move into the enemy's base, and this is definitely not a killing blow. However, it is quite a good blow. And hopefully we see, yeah, Zen come in there with the commander with the D-gun. They're all in a line. Like, that is a nice D-gun there. But, okay, good. So, Mr. Zen up to 22 kills with this commander, man. And not all of those are obviously from those brutes, but he at least got like 6 or 7 in those couple of D-guns. So, good job there helping to stop the raid. They do grab a few construction turrets, which are terrible to lose. And the tier 2 metal factory that actually did not leave wreckage, which is normally I don't, not the metal factory, vehicle plant. Normally I don't encourage people killing, bot labs or vehicle plants just because they're easily replaceable because of the wreckage they leave, right? Not so here. It was destroyed in its entirety. So fantastic pick by our man in green here. And we can really see that You know, we still have Scuffs in moving forward, but Maximus is quite the army now. He's lost a lot trying to trade with Maximus in the field here, and unrecoverable stuff too, so those res bots aren't helping him a lot there, and there's quite a lot of stuff to res here, as Tristerfrock had to decommit basically, but so did Duna, right? And then Boburrito coming in here as well, taking on this Mammoth, which is a nice pick. These Stouts are putting in work. Don't know what happened in the missile trucks. Sorry, I missed Bob's battle, but he's doing very well here. I don't know if he can quite win it. It actually looks possible. It actually looks possible. Perhaps. Pretty much a stalemate, actually, maybe is the better term. And now Sumos are coming off the line, and those guys are going to be putting in the work. But losing your tier 2 constructor, like those guys take time and money to replace. We even got a Mr. Clean coming in with a couple grunts here. These guys have 5. Ooh, this guy's 5 kills. Oh, dang. A hero, a legend, went down to a dang. I think there's this laser tower, man. Lots of reclaim left on the field here for Grunting Squid, though. Yeah. Oh, 8.6 thousand. He doesn't have any reclaim bots, but he has a friend who does. And that friend is, dude, this guy is crazy. He's doing so well. Now, he is choosing to res these guys, and I would say that's not a terrible idea, but I also say reclaiming some also isn't the worst. So he's going to reclaim some debris, obviously, but I think reclaiming some a little bit more of these guys that are resident would be a little bit nicer to see. But he's kind of all on this front, and the Warm Colors team has to be. So they've already lost this area, and Scuvzin really is too far away to commit any troops here. So he's going to want to, I guess, just bolster his own front line up here, maybe going for a push, especially because our man in green did he used everything on that push. So quite weak there, but he definitely doesn't have enough now to capitalize upon it. And Mr. Frock's already rebuilding. I actually don't see stuff come out of here super quick at all, and he's still on tier 1, which is, he's on tier 2 economy. That's fair, not tier 2 units. So gonna be a pretty weak force overall, still making brutes. 21 minutes in the game. Now, medium tanks have a long lifespan game-wise. They can tangle with tier 2 units if they have a lot of numbers, but yeah, you're gonna want to start, you know, mixing and matching with some tier 2 units here pretty soon. We also have Boburrito on the tier 1 grind still. On the tier 2 economy, developing economy as well. It's the nature of being a front line, but still. I mean, we obviously, you know, Scuvzin also. Oh no, Scuvzin is tier 2. That's why I was starting this whole thing, because Scuvzin has tier 2. I'm losing it, guys. Making gunslingers, actually sending them down here, which is pretty interesting. Icy feels pretty secure up here. He does have a lot of beamers. Maximus might be able to make it through. Maximus is now making fiends. And again, okay, so I was proven right when I said in the beginning these guys would have better economies than their southern counterparts. Bam, bam. Both of the northern guys are already tier 2, and they did not eco, right? So it's just the nature of how the map is set up, and it's actually a really cool example of, you know, how the maps you play on change the way you play. Obviously, in huge ways, but also some of those easy to miss ways like that. I don't know. I love analyzing maps, and I actually love making them. I just wish I was good at making them. I feel like I'm better at analyzing, which... What's a quote, man? If you can't do, teach. Yeah, a little bit anti-learning, in fact, but a funny quote nonetheless, and maybe true in this situation. But the shurikens from Mr. Cleaner going in, immediately eviscerated. Didn't stand a chance, unfortunately. There we go. Now they're coming in force, doing a little bit better there. Fighter squad is coming in, cleaning those guys out. Yeah, the time for shurikens was a really long time ago. And honestly, at this point in the game, shurikens are still very good on the defense, where you have air superiority, which is not what is happening here in the middle of nowhere, where the fighter, you know, where Pink Shadow actually has air superiority now. I think at this point, it's really hard to tell, but he has 40 Falcons, right, compared to the 31 Valiants. Also 5 bombers there. Haven't seen those guys go in, but yeah. 9 more fighters over here, and also when you're defending locally, again, huge advantage, right? I don't know what the ping was here. Was it this guy's veterancy? That would be a silly thing to ping, wouldn't it? But still, like, look at this guy's veterancy. 14 kills on a dang Wolverine? He's probably KSing all his teammates, if we're being real, but still, what a baller. What a baller indeed. I received 7 new units? Fantastic. I'm elated, actually, in fact. I love this mech, it's still up here. As I say that, he is taken out, but I wonder how much metal that guy generated. I wish there was a way to see that. Yeah. I guess it'd be kind of hard to do, but still be interesting, I guess. For me. I'm a little bit of a nerd, if we're being real. But yeah, so Gunslingers from Zen finally hitting the field, man. And also a ton of Sheldons from Grunting Squid. And now the no tier 2 units is really going to start biting them in the butt. But Jaguars are coming out. Now Jaguars versus Sheldons, if they can close in, which is a huge if, by the way, they're going to be good. But if they can't, yeah, they're going to be, I think they're going to be eviscerated just because they're low health. Also some bombers coming in from Mr. Clean. The fighters from Shadow, I was going to say, what happened to them? There they go. A comp bomb from Maximus. He said he was bombing. Yeah, not a good idea. That was stupid. I agree. It was a good show, and I wish I actually caught it on camera. But I didn't because my game sense is atrocious. And also, sometimes it's not your game sense, and it's just that I think a fighter battle is more important than a lost comm bomb. But what are you going to do, man? It's okay. Anyways, Gunslinger's making a push here. And these guys, man. I don't know what fast learning means. It's been a tag for Gunslingers since I've started playing, I think. But the auto repair is real. And these guys are actually going to be... Guys, is this a new meta? Gunslingers are fantastic against missile trucks because they do such a low DPS. You can't heal all of the damage, obviously, depending on the size of the squad. But, like, we can see these guys are already healing just between shots, right? I think that's fantastic. Now the Jaguar force is coming through, and the Gunslingers don't have the numbers quite. If they had, like, a couple more, they would have taken this squad out of, but they don't. Oh my! They get stuck on Rex, and they might actually take this out. Yeah, we even the Sheldons are coming in now. Is this long? Oh man, I was invested in that guy. You just had to ruin it, didn't you, Bob? You nerd. Not kidding. Bob is actually a homie. I have no idea. I've never seen him play. That's not true. The Bob Burrito sounds like a very familiar name. I can't remember what games he's been in. Probably some straight game, right? I suppose the gay games. No, Supreme Straight Games. You know, there's a lot of people in that one. I can't remember them all, but sometimes the names stick out. I'm like, you know what? I remember this guy in a game from like 4 months ago. Good to see he's still playing. I'd love to see long-time players still playing. Obviously, you know, like Taku and Randy and, you know, Subutai. Those kind of guys are always going to be playing. But, like, just some, like, mid-TS guys that keep playing, I like to see. Now, we do have the Trimmer out here from Triste Frock. Another thing I like to see. And he's going to be missing, but that's par for the course for Trimmers. Another thing for Trimmers is they die before getting their value when put on the front lines. That was rude of me. But yeah, a little bit of a lapse in micro, but also Sheldons are going to tear up a low health artillery unit pretty quickly. Mr. Frock losing this front line to this nasty Sheldons fan from Duna. And yeah, now we see the meta coming in because Sheldons have been good for a long, long time. Let's look at the change log. Yeah. Oh, change log July. Must have been pretty recently. I haven't seen that. Looks like missile trucks were actually nerfed, which is good. At least lashers. I saw lashers were nerfed. Anyways, Cortex Commander goes down for Mr. Frock. Not the biggest deal in the world. Now they only have 2 commanders at this point. The enemy team has 5. So they did reclaim one on Duma reclaimed Maximus's. So he's a free reclaim bot just sitting on the front line. That's pretty tanky, which is pretty useful actually. And now we're seeing the tables turn. Oh, how the tables turneth. That the Cool Colors are now losing their front line again. This has always been terrible for the Cool Colors team. All these pawns, good lord. Or grunts. Are they gonna be able to overtake these Sheldons? That is just a wave of pawns coming at these Sheldons, man. Will they be able to climb the hill? This is absolutely insane. It's like a zombie invasion, man. The beamer turrets going off in the back. The Cortex and Commander absolutely being ravaged in the back there too. He does go down. The Mesas also, supporting their Sheldon friends. Fantastic. Nice push there. And Barbarito somehow is holding back Grunting Squid. And Scuffs in with his continued little gunslinger support. I love to see it. Gunslingers are one of my favorite units. Auto repair, anything that on paper generates fantastic value, I love. Now gunslingers on paper, generate great value because they're auto repair. Everything auto repairs, but very slowly in most cases. But gunslingers are not the case. But most of the time they don't survive battle just because they are a close range unit. The most OP thing ever would be a long range unit with auto repair, and if that was implemented in the game, it would be over, frankly. Anyways, the charge of Maximus moving up the hill. I won't do another epic voiceover. I don't have it in me. But yeah, they're going to be doing their best, getting rid of some beamers here, which is definitely admirable. And the fact is, it's just going to be continued, right? There is 6. Okay, yeah, 5 factories just pumping these guys out. And the Fiends in the back there as well, man. Got any kills on those bad boys, too? Okay. Yeah, they're moving up the hill, and the squads are getting ready in the back, too, which is insane. Yes, very, very nice. Nice job, Maximus. You love to see it. And then the little groups in the back getting ready too is hilarious. That's awesome. We do have some bombers here trying to dissuade these Sheldons that are dead from the bombers that I missed like an idiot. I don't think it was just from the bombers actually. Bulls definitely played a part. Also Fiends coming in here too. But the bombers are providing air support. We got Cass coming in. Not really. Cass is a bit different. I don't actually think we have it in this game. Cass is both a fighter and a small-time bomber, if I believe. I could be wrong on that. I'm sure there are variations. I played 2 games of Hoi 4, so I'm an expert now. But anyways. Just focus on... That's actually sound advice. Yeah, the fighters are failing for cleaner, even though the bombers have been doing good work. So he could be pushed by Shadow if Shadow was actually making bombers, but he's not. But still good to be prepared for maybe the inevitable. We do have Quakers, the mobile artillery coming out for Triste, and despite, you know, artillery having a very, very good position in the current meta, I actually don't see Quakers that often. Now, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. Mausers, there we go, sorry. Mausers I see frequently, but not as much Quakers. I don't know if it's just a Cortex life or what. Or no, Mausers are, oh gosh. Dude, I'm losing it. Yeah, this is Cortex. I'm losing it. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Anyways, maybe Cortex doesn't like those long-range artillery strategies as much. I guess they have the Tremor too. It's hard in my mind to justify the Quaker over the Tremor just because the Quaker does not look nearly as cool as the Tremor. So... if you ever needed sound gameplay advice, I'm always here, 24/7. Hit me up, Discord, email, I'll respond. And I will say that Armada is better, both aesthetically, but Tremors are better than Quakers in the Cortex. You know, Cortex infighting, that's what I'm here for. Weaken them from the inside, that's what I say. These gunslingers putting up a valiant defense, but the grunt waves keep coming, man. Maximus with these charge of numbers. If I was uneducated on historical matters, I would say it's very Soviet-like tactics, but because I don't get my knowledge from movies, I can't say that. Isn't that like the most pretentious thing you've ever heard? That was terrible. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, gunslingers moving up the hills. Dude, the grunt armies for Maximus, like, the output is crazy. And what I love is he's actually building the forces up. So he's not just like, you know, setting them in for a stream for things like line of sight or other things like that. Like, this is his offense, right? And it would be a great backup for this artillery if he put them forward, but I don't know why he's building up too much. Like, these guys should have moved up here. They would have prevented a lot of deaths. I'm sure it was just because he wasn't paying attention. Maybe he was focused on his eco. I'm not sure. I don't know. What is that? Yeah, Mammoths, some Sheldons, some Sumos. Pretty good lineup. And he's got the radar jammer and the radar bot, which is always good to see. But yeah, more of a holding force for sure, as Mammoths and Sumos are both just so slow. And hard to get those guys on a strong push. I mean, they can push for a long time, but yeah, they're very slow. And the enemy can react. And as you get close... this is epic, but we'll discuss tactics. As you get closer to someone's base, that enemy gets more powerful unless you're damaging their economy along the way. So when you have a slow unit like Mammoths, or even say Juggernauts, is why Juggernauts are actually easier to beat than, you know, you might believe just from looking at paper just because they're so slow, and you can really start ramping up unit production in anticipation of jugs coming your way. Similar thing for mammoths and sumos, but they're not nearly as powerful as jugs, and that can more easily be destroyed. And also they have direct unit counters, so like long range units are going to be fantastic against these guys. You can start building up starlights or tachyons, the static defense. I don't know. I'm in a theorizing mood today, guys. The fiends did self-destruct against other fiends. It wasn't super successful. They didn't get as close as they needed to be, and also they were self-destructing on the line. So obviously the fiends were like they are now, like a line. The explosion was here, and that radius for the explosion wasn't going to get past like here. So, you do it with what you can. Maximus did move his units away, and the fiends and other fiends are obviously the same speed, so hard to close in encounters like that. More fiends moving in, and the Quakers keep coming out for Triste, which I love, just because I don't see them as often. I'm sure I can get quite bored of them if I saw them more often, because they feel a lot more like battle tanks than actual artillery. Stalled for too long, need help. The grunt production was overzealous. He did actually, recall all of those ground bases. He built 3 aphises, and he's got a lot of energy, and also a lot of energy being used. How is this man stalling? What is going on here, dude? It's weird, man, for sure, it's weird. Anyways. Shurikens now for Hole Cleaner. Exactly when you want to use them, too, as defense, when you have air superiority. Hey, what is taking them out, man? Is it actually gunslingers? They're getting a few shots in. It must be something else. Unless gunslingers are a lot better at anti-air than I thought they were. Keep in mind, shurikens are also very, very low flyers, so they are going to be susceptible to units that you wouldn't even normally think are good against air units, right? So, it sucks. But anyways, good thing from Zen, he has held this front line like a champ. So is Duma, but Zen's really been the one pushing in and making those changes on the battlefield for the Warm Colors team. So props to him, and he's still trying to go in here. And also, Grunting Squid 2 has absolutely, for the most part, he did have that lapse early on where he did get pushed there, which was not ideal. But he's made a comeback. He's doing his best to try to get, move forward here. The Mausers are coming out for Barbarito, though, and this is exactly what you don't want to see when you have an army of slow-moving units, is long-range, high-damaging artillery. Yeah, basically a perfect counter. So he's going to be forced back. But anyways, I just saw that big blob before. I'm like, oh, this is going to do some damage. But unit counters are a thing, ladies and gentlemen. They may change every patch, but hey. Cool stuff. I love this game. I feel a revitalized energy for it for not a whole lot of reason. Some would even say it's beyond all reason. You can clap. Vote for Jeb Bush. Thank you. All right. Props if you know what I'm referring to. I guess I did kind of give it away. But Fiends and Gunslingers duking it out. Gunslingers with the easy W there. Able to do big damage before these guys close in is huge. Sumo's getting eviscerated by Zars and Quakers. Not surprising at all. We also have an Agitator up here, which would have been good like a long time ago when Tier 1 was prevalent. But he's still trying to get some damage in. He's got 4 kills. I wish this one didn't go down. I didn't see how many kills it had before it died. A lot of reclaim bots coming out here from Duna, which is a good idea. There's not a lot of reclaim on the field that he can actually get to right now, but still a good idea in practice, and you always want to have them on hand. The Sheldon's trying to do something over here, and they're actually being quite effective. I always pick on the Mauser, getting those construction, or the radar jammers down, construction turrets dying. It's a good push. Obviously it can be reacted to, but he's doing good damage on a little forward position there. Maximus says he's dead. Gunslingers are... I wish he's self-destructing these Fiends, because what you want for Gunslingers is fast damage that it can't repair from, which is exactly what an explosion is. Either way, he's definitely not dead. He does make it out of that. Just by the skin of his teeth, but he does make it out. So, and the Clutch Bombers too. I think they got like 2 kills, but it was still cool. Always good to see. The Bulls are coming in for Barbarito, and yeah, good unit, backed up by Mausers, even better unit. Yeah, a good push, leaving a lot of reclaim on the field for Grunting Squid though. Fortunately, this man does not have the reclaim units. But again, maybe his friends will see it. We did see Mr. Zen coming down there once, so we might see it happen again. Hailstorm's trying to go in, but they are taken out by enemy fighters. And the fighters are in turn being taken out by a nasty chainsaw. Even more fighters coming in here, which are inadvertently going to die. But yeah, Grunting Squid is able to hold that push, but it was a good push, and wrecked a lot of his army. It looks like all those Sheldons did go down, which is really what's pressuring him here, and he might be able to, you know, start to build up things again. Some reclaim boss here from Mr. Clean. Might try to get a couple bits of reclaim, but in the end, it's not gonna. Yeah, the enemy is closing in. He said, "This is how I repay my gratitude." I don't know. Oh, Shiva. Oh, he's built tier 3 experimental gantry. Shivas are coming out. Very nice. They wreck the welders. Yeah, welders. It's really sad, but welders have not been good ever. They're such an iconic unit, at least for me. Even back when they were the old Zeus, they've just not been good, right? They suffer because I'd say their main comparison would be Jaguars, and Jaguars are just better in every way. They're faster. You know, welders I think definitely have more health than Jaguars, but when you're dealing with like hordes, what you want is fast maneuverability to respond to things like tier 1 spam. Able to get around enemy forces, do a lot of good chain damage on bases. What bases are, you know, suffer from is chain damage, because look at this, a bunch of construction turrets that you might overkill one if you have stuff like Shivas going in, but if you have stuff like Jaguars, they're gonna, you know, hit multiple of these guys with one hit. Same thing for wind farms, same thing for energy converters and the like. It's crazy. And I love the stopping eco when Shadow is so far behind even Maximus, right? If we look at economy now, the Warm Colors team is suffering, dude. I think they've only been doing so well because Grunting Squid is definitely holding his own on the bottom down here, and also they had a lot of terrain advantage because they were all the way pushed up here, and they've been, oh gosh, stop labeling things, man. They've been slowly pushed back here, yes, but it's taken a while, and now that the forces are finally built up, Tristy with all these Zars, man, he could have pushed a while ago. He chose not to, and I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing. And of course they are operating with imperfect information, which makes it hard to judge when you should actually push. But now is a great time, right? Pushing back these mammoths. Now there are Shivas of Duna's own. Duna really becoming a powerhouse here, as Zen is trying to build up the production for this tier 3 gantry, but it's taken a while. It doesn't have quite the construction turrets, the build power that he should have, by the way. But yeah, Shiva from Maximus's own also killing it. Now this push might not make it to a base. I don't think it will make it all the way, but it's gonna leave the enemy a lot of reclaim, that's for sure. But now the front line is all the way up here, right? This hill's been cleared out. They can safely secure some mexes around here that they hadn't before, which will be a small boost, but a boost nonetheless. And oh, the Shiva's on the pawn from Hole Cleaner, or Mr. Clean, sorry, Hole Cleaner. I don't know him. No, is good. Hopefully we see these guys go in. Hopefully I catch them going in. I am notoriously bad looking at the radar here, but I'm doing my best. Speaking of the radar, look at these Shivas flanking over here, man. Nice. Can't believe this Mex has not been taken yet. It's really interesting to me. Big detonation over here. I don't know what that was, per se. Oh, Cortex Commander dying. Looks like Grunting Squid was taken out by some bombers there. Fantastic. Now, the bad thing is that Cleaner is coming in with some fighters, and I don't see how those guys make it out. They do not make it out is the big thing. But the enemy fighters were actually over local anti-air, perhaps more. This chainsaw has 23 kills now, so he's doing well. I actually wish more anti-air was being built up over there. We do have Gremlin tanks, 15 of them from Bob. I love the Gremlin tank plays. They're so good. Always satisfying, and yeah, these guys might be the center, man. The Warm Colors team already losing on the eco. They're struggling with this front. They can contain it. They can make a comeback just by looking at this. And also, they're ostensibly winning over here. This pawn is an issue, though. And, of course, the Gremlin tanks. Like, how much... These guys can do a lot of damage, right? If they get into these fusion reactors, I'd say this. Targeting the higher tier players is actually better. I'd say going for this Avis back here, or these just regular fusion reactors, gosh, 42 minutes, is a waste, in my opinion. But hey, what are you gonna do? Duna pinging over here. I don't know what happens. What's going on there? Either way, sorry, a little distracted. Trying to figure out what people mean. Yeah, communication again. Fig is something I'm not. Oh no, I do know what this means. I just forgot. Fighters. Yep, fighters. Over here, that should be patrolling, probably more near the front. I think is what he's saying. We figured it out, folks, through my Sherlock Holmes brain. Now, what Shadow's gonna figure out, or maybe he'll go for Zen first, is that some stealth tanks are on their way. Now that might be a little bit jittery. They're anxious, bro. They have like, some caffeine, you know. It's a big job, right? Like, this is game ending if they do it well. And kind of just a sad thing if they don't. Now, what they might want to do is go for Shadow here, but what they don't want to do is just sit around, because then they'll be detected. But they do decide to go in. The Gromans are coming in now. Shadow, gonna die. Boom, nice. Takes out tier 2 air, tier 2 factory. I think a tier 1 bot factory is there too. And aircraft plant almost dead. And a few are even left. I was going to say, you should have spaced those guys out. They didn't be that close, because then they all die from the same explosion that they're doing. But they're also going to go for these fusion reactors. And this will definitely be the end of Shadow. But I don't think it'll be the end of the whole team. And also, yeah, the way that was just pinged then, and Shadow didn't even notice, or if he didn't even say anything. I guess he doesn't have anything to react to it with. But yeah, that fusion reactor is going to be going down. Duna cannot react quick enough. Big fighter buildup from Maximus. He easily could go in here. I just lied. Sharpshooters are a threat. But the grunts here from Mr. Clean are actually fantastic play, because these guys are great against sharpshooters. Oh my gosh, and there's no horde cleanup protecting these sharpshooters. They do kill them eventually, but that's like, what, 3 down for just a few grunts? That's insane. That is wild. Very nice. Anyways, fusion reactor went down, but did not trigger the others. I guess not enough damage. I didn't know that. I thought all fusion reactors could trigger one another by their own explosions, but perhaps I was wrong. And the Shivas actually decided to go here from the pond, which I think is a mistake. I think they should have just gone in straight. I will not be saying that phrase again, but you know what I meant, right? Straight to the base. Instead of trying to assault this force that wasn't even doing anything quite yet. And they did damage, but they didn't do as much as they could have back here. The eco is what you want, guys. If you want to win a game, always take eco over units. Almost always. Obviously, maxims are gonna fail eventually, but I say there's pretty good logic to live by. I'd like to know if anyone else can corroborate my statement with their own experience, or if they think I'm a big dumb idiot. And if you do, don't say it. Don't say it. I don't want to hear it from you. Specifically you watching this video. Don't call me dumb. Thank you. It's been a PSA, alright? Anyways, 5 hailstorms coming in here. In terms of anti-air, there's some thistles here, but only a few thistles mean hailstorm's going to be dropping some bombs. And also fighter escort. I'm going to be taking that damage from the hailstorms, or for the hailstorms, and they almost get a pick on this fusion reactor. Oh my gosh, no. Oh gosh, are they not going to circle back? No, they are being healed. I guess. Oh, the bombers die. There's one left. Man. Yeah, hate to see it. Is he going to get? Oh, he's going to drop another load. Another phrase I would not repeat, but I didn't quite do it. Now there are. Oh gosh, what were these? Gremlins? More gremlins. Doing a little bit of damage here. Took out a fusion, which is nice. Again, eco's huge, guys. So good to see Bob Rito focusing on the eco, because, to be honest, Mr. Squid has not been as attacking as much as he should. Now, I know some of you will say, and I will agree, that he didn't really have the force for attacking, and I would agree. Sheldon's great poke. Mammoths have good prolonged attack again, but like they're not able to. They're just too slow on a map like this where it's just so open. I think he should have been producing other units. I think that was the biggest issue there. Nice. Are these what? Scuttles. Oh, they're yeah, advanced, amphibious bombs from Mr. Clean, which is a great play if there are a few more of them. But I don't know if they didn't cloak in time or what. I don't have anti-nuke, or they don't have anti-nuke. They definitely have anti-nuke. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, it's because the anti-nuke's not over there. Where is it? Over here somewhere. Am I crazy? I know there's anti-nuke somewhere. That's what these circles are for. Anyways. Yeah, I know the anti-nuke is somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is right now. I like to see... I saw a Nemesis somewhere, which is funny because of the Gremlin tanks, obviously. Helps detect those stealthy units for sure. For sure. And Maximus, yeah, helping defend against this big Shiva Karganath catapult push. Honestly, just all the Cortex units that isn't a Juggernaut being thrown at them for real. And they're able to defend because they also have Cortex units. More Shivas coming in here for Mr. Clean. I think Shivas are great go-between unit. Much like medium tanks are kind of a tier 1.5 unit in my opinion. They bridge the gap between tier 1 and tier 2. Shivas bridge the gap. That doesn't quite make sense actually. I was gonna say they kind of bridge the gap between tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, but they are tier 3. But they're very cheap to produce tier 3 that still has good unit map presence. Like Marauders are good because of their amphibious nature, but they can't dish out the damage like Shivas do. Duna went in there, the calm destruction, not able to do it though, and the jug from Maximus, good lord. Yeah, having him jug that close to the bases is game over, and they acknowledge that. Shadow also went AFK, which is horrible to see, especially the last video I put out with that insane comeback. Like, games can be won from a position where you think, like, there's no way. Like, you don't know what's going on over here. You just have no idea. And I think surrendering in all, but some extreme cases is folly. Like, if you take a dump early game, like, maybe that's fair, I would say at that point. But, like, late game, like, if you're getting pushed and you surrender, it's like, that maybe this case isn't terrible, right? But more like Shadow leaving so early. Either way, great game from everybody. Triste being a traitor here. I don't know what unit. I think because he had the Zars and Maximus had the Grunts, it was a very bad combo. Also the Quakers and the Grunts, yeah. A lot of friendly fire there, but I don't, whatever. I didn't see any egregious, like he wasn't, I hate the traitor award because it's so like contentious. Like you get no, like for like in Froxus, and like you get no awards except for traitor. And like, oh man, I see how it is. I was useless except for hurting my friends. But that's, it has to be given to somebody, right? Either way, Maximus doing great, destroying enemy resource and destroying enemy units, and Duna had the most efficient use, which makes sense because he was our top TS player in the whole game. I would like also to add that Maximus was the player that sent this in, so thanks to him. He said he had been gone for a few months, so it makes sense why he was going for the grunt rush strategy. That actually worked very well, and I was very pessimistic about it, but he used it quite well. So yeah, we can see Eco overall goes to Maximus. Active units also is going to go to Maximus. Well, yeah, well this was when he was making grunts. Mr. Clean did take over in the end, mostly I think because of these fighters he was making. He was also making grunts of his own, so makes sense. If we look at Delta, yeah, again, like wham. Either way, I think that's enough damage dealt. Duna, fantastic job. Damage received, also Duna. He was being pushed there at the end, so it makes sense. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and have a great day. Adios.